Have you ever wondered how the FBI uses science and technology to solve crime? What computers and cool technology they use in the field? Let's back it up. How does the FBI actually solve a crime? At a crime scene, the first thing the FBI does is they set up a perimeter. They start with what they call roll call and they write down everyone's names that enter the crime scene. We want everything pristine and we don't want people walking in and out with their shoes, says former FBI agent Dan McKenna. Then a certain squad of FBI agents come. They are called the Evidence Response Team, or ERT. Their role is to collect evidence and mark exactly where it was found, the date it was found, and the time it was found. They also take photos of the crime scene. According to Agent Jed Salter, depending on what crime they think occurred, they will look for certain kinds of evidence. For example, if there was a shooting, they would look for bullets or bullet holes. The evidence is either sent down to a state lab or the FBI's lab in Quantico, Virginia. The agents send down anything found in the crime scene along with fingerprints and DNA. Lab then runs tests on the evidence and sends the results back to the agents. It is then their job to solve the crime. There are many scientists in labs that have many different roles to play with the evidence. They all have specialties in certain kinds of evidence. Some scientists compare bullets to barrels and they can determine the distance a shot was fired from. They also can compare shot patterns. Some scientists look at passports, plastic bags, identified writing on paper, and they compare handwriting, looking for forgeries. Some scientists can figure out what symbols and graffiti, tattoos, and other drawings mean. They also crack codes used by gangs and smugglers. Trace evidence experts look at things such as hair, fibers, fabric, and minerals for clues. FBI chemists look at things such as tear gases, bank dye packs, and other gases. Toxicology experts look at food evidence, poisons, and drugs. But one of the main things the lab does is they look at fingerprints and DNA, compare it to samples that were taken off suspects. Field agents use very different kinds of technology than agents in labs. They use things such as things to track people, to detect blood, and to break into locks. One thing they use is something called luminol. The way it would work is they would turn off the lights, and if it glowed, it meant there was blood there. Another machine that they use is something called a safecracker. The way it would work is it could break into any door, lock, or safe in a minimum of 5 seconds. One last thing they use is something called night vision. Night vision uses image intensifier tubes to make objects look brighter for whoever is using them. They are helpful during the night and during search and rescue missions. Since the FBI was created in 1908, there have been many changes in technology. One of the major things that have changed is DNA and how they identify it. DNA was created in 1998. It was known as basic DNA. By now, it is advanced to something called nuclear DNA. Nuclear DNA can be blood, spit, skin cells, and more. According to Dan McKenna, the FBI can tell now if a certain piece of evidence is from the mother's side of the family or the father's. That's a huge advancement because it helps narrow down suspects. The second thing that has changed since the FBI was created has been identifying weapons of mass destruction and bombs. The FBI has hired many chemists and biologists to try to figure out the next kind of bomb. That is a huge advancement because it helps the FBI stop people from planting bombs and helps them defuse bombs. The FBI has many science and technology that solve crime and keep our nation safe. I wonder what science and technology will look like in the future.